Hey guys, this is Steel City EDC with a review on the Mixed Strider SMF. Now this isn't the first SMF I've owned. My first Strider was an SMF, but it's one with the full flat grind rather than this hollow grind. And actually that was the first Strider knife I owned. And I got that about 3 years ago. Prior to then, I'd been interested in Striders, but never really been able to find one that I liked. Or to justify the cost of them, to be honest, because they're not cheap. Now, I love full titanium, and lots of Striders don't have that. The performance Striders, the CCs and the double gunner grips, or the customs, and the customs are well out of my price range, do tend to have the titanium option. So yeah, the light bulb went on when I got my first one of these about 3 years ago, and it was, as I say, the same as this, just with the full flat grind. Lovely, lovely folder. After that followed an SNG, and now the SNG is the slightly smaller version. This is the the full size. I suppose it's the equivalent size to the XM24 from Hindra, and we'll do some size comparisons in a minute. Yes, this is full tie. It's got the performance pivots, which is see-through with a hole in. The way to tell the SMF from the SNG when you're just looking at a picture like this is the SMF has 4 of the screws in it, whereas the SNG, which is the mid-size one, has 3 of the screws in it. So that's quite handy to know. A lot of people talk about the quality issues of Strider and lock stick, lack of censoring. As you can see, this one is perfectly censored. There's no issue whatsoever there. I got this second hand off a friend. I don't think she's been a hardcore user, but been in the pocket a few times. And to be fair, he got her off someone else, so it's hard to tell the exact history. But it doesn't feel like this one's had hardcore use. But then that is what these are designed for. It's got a really good lockup, no lock stick whatsoever. Lovely smooth opening and closing. This isn't particularly drop shutty, but they're not really supposed to be. You absolutely can flick it out, so I'm not doing a very good job there, am I? But okay, I will flick it out. So there you go, a little bit of wrist. It's interesting actually, because normally when I'm flicking these out, I'm doing it as I'm as I'm stood up. At the moment I'm sat down. There you go. It just needs to adjust the tension on your finger right to get it out. So excuse my lack of flicking for a bit. But to be fair, I've heard quite a few people who know a lot more about Striders than me say you're not really supposed to flick these out. You're supposed to thumb roll them, and I do love a good thumb roll. But of course, flicking them out is also great fun as well. And the thumb hole, whatever we want to call this, I think the thumb hole is the right word, is really good on this. It's perfect, absolutely perfect position. At first, before I had one of these, I thought the thumb studs were what you'd use, but they are stops to go into the scales and line up with the scales to stop it from torquing under pressure. As you can see, they go straight in there. So this thumb hole is really, really good. It's nice and smoothed off, so it's not rough anywhere. You've got some really nice jimping here. It looks quite aggressive, but it's not overly aggressive on your thumb. I've got quite large hands. I'm certainly a glove size large. This fits me really nicely. You can choke up. It feels like you could really grip this and use it for a long time. Very comfortable. Strider are famous for the great ergonomics. I think these were designed with tactical usage in mind, when you absolutely could stab with this if you needed to. Not that I'm recommending you should stab or do anything. I mean, for me, these are a tool. I appreciate in the right situations they might be used as more than a tool, and I'm sure they've been more than capable of that. I love this hollow grind. Let's just see if you can kind of get a view there of how thin it comes down with the hollow grind. Really, really impressive. And it's kind of like a slicer, the way it's got that. So razor sharp, but really thick and hard use as well. Yes, this is the performance. As I say, it's got in full titanium with the performance pivots. Strider fans will know all about that. I didn't realise this one actually has a Damascus, or Timascus, and he's got check, lock bar stabilizer. So that's quite cool. Now, in terms of the length of this, Let's get the tape measure out and show you. There you go. So this is about 9 inches, give or take a millimetre. That's a big old knife. As you can see, the blade is 4 inches and the cutting length is just a shade over 3 inches. If I pull that a little bit more, you can see, so about three and a third. So really nice, good folder. I'm just wondering if I can. I'm struggling to see that actually, but it looks like it's about 1.25 centimetres thick maybe. Probably not the best way to do it. I need to work out a different way to do that so to make it a bit easier for you guys to follow. So in terms of size comparisons, the closest one I've got size-wise is the XM24 from Rick Hindra. Again, you can see that there. And then if we put the Spartan Hearty folder from Spartan Blades into the mix as well. There we go. So again, you can see some very similar size knives here. Now I think the other one that's a decent size is the Zan from Chris Reeve. Let's just take the XM24 away and put this one in here as well. Okay, so you can see substantially bigger than the Zan, which is a very good size knife. You can see the Zan has a slightly longer cutting edge and the Spartan Hearty folder does as well. So this has a lot of handle, a lot of room for wearing gloves, a lot of real estate to move around, get comfy grips, and I think that's kind of what it's designed for. If we take this away, and we're going to take the Spartan Hearty folder away as well, and I'm going to compare it to the smaller model, which is the Strider SNG. So again, you can see there the size difference, not massive, but it's substantial. And it all makes a difference. Now, for me, to be honest, the SNG is a perfect size, absolutely phenomenal. Yet, the SMF is just such a big beast, and I absolutely love it. So it'd be very difficult for someone who loves Striders like I do not to have an SMF in the collection, which is why I bought a new one. Now, it's actually my first new knife day in about 6 months buying this SMF Performance. So really, really impressed with it. And you see it's got the same, pick these up, it's got the same 3/4 hollow grind on both these. And I love that 3/4 hollow grind, 3/4 length hollow grind. Anyway, let's put the SNG away and focus on this. So this one is in CPM 154 steel, which is a really good steel. This one's clearly a few years old. Absolute workhorse, thing of beauty. I've paid in UK pounds 650 for this, second hand, in great condition, and I'm fairly comfortable with that. I could have possibly got one for a little bit cheaper, importing from the US or maybe even from Europe. It's very difficult to know, but the challenge with that, of course, is for all us UK collectors, if there's something wrong with it, it's much harder to send it back. And of course, the risk of potentially having it seized by an overzealous customs agent who doesn't really understand these are fully UK legal to own. So, that for me was worth it. Brand new, I think from memory, these are $800 and something. And when they launch, when Strider do a drop on Fridays and Saturdays, they tend to sell out in minutes, sometimes seconds, depending how exotic it is, the model that they've just launched. So really, really highly in demand. Globally, there's a huge Strider community of very hardcore loyal fans, and I absolutely get it. I can see why. They are fantastic knives. In my limited experience with Striders, and this is my 5th one so far over the last 3 years, it seems to be that the ones that have maybe lock stick issues or maybe aren't perfectly centered are the ones that have the G10 or the aluminium show scale. And I wonder if that's a difference in terms of the titanium lock side, which is obviously much more rigid than a G10 scale. I wonder if that's part of it. When you tighten it all up and pull it in, maybe there's a bit of flex in the G10. I wonder if that's part of the challenge there. I certainly haven't had any lock stick in any of mine, and all mine have been full tie. I haven't had any issues with them not being centered, and again, they've all been full tie. So I'm making that assumption, but I might be wrong. So again, Strider experts, tell me, is that a fair comment to make, or am I completely wrong? Anyway, would I recommend this knife? Absolutely yes. Fucking awesome beast of a folder. Completely love it. Value for money, yes. This will be a safe queen pretty much for me. I'll probably give her very little use. She'll come out in my pocket a few times if I'm, going for a reasonable walk, or, something where I'd have a good reason to carry a knife like this. But she certainly won't be a daily user or a daily carry. And I'm absolutely comfortable with that. That's kind of how I like it. So I hope you can respect that, guys. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review, overview, I suppose, review, however you want to describe it. I've certainly enjoyed talking to you about this knife and showing you some pictures of her. So please do feel free to like this video. It helps me a lot. Comment, leave your thoughts, and subscribe to my channel. It's a fairly new channel. I've got nearly 80 followers now. I'd love to grow that. I'd love to share more of my collection with you guys. I've got a fair old collection, and I'm going to do a full collection video fairly soon. So yeah, please give me some love. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, and share, and let me grow this thing so I can show you more of my stuff. Okay, thanks guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.